What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know, TubeBuddy is a free website that will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. Thanks to them, some of my videos even show up as top results. Want to give them a try? Check the description below for the link. Today's product is Amazmic's YL-02 karaoke machine. This is a portable karaoke machine, and I have been reviewing more of these smaller versions because, as you can tell, the overall size of it is very compact, which comes with some pros as well as some cons, which I will go into. But first, what comes in the box? Well, we have the karaoke machine itself. We have two mics right here, both wireless. We have a strap, which I haven't actually used yet, but pretty much you would connect it here and here so that you can put it over your shoulder. We have two wires. We have an aux to aux, and then we have a USB-C to USB-A, which is used for charging. And then we have our manual, and as always, I like to flip open the manual and let you guys read whatever you may need to read from it, because I will only go over the highlights, okay? I'm not going over every little bit of info, so if there is specific info that you're looking for, pause on the guide so that way you guys can see what exactly you need, as well as check out the Amazon listing, which I have the link for in the description below, because that will have more info. Again, I am only hitting the highlights, and the highlights are just what I consider to be some of the more important things that you should be looking out for when deciding on a speaker or portable karaoke machine in this situation. So let's talk about Amazmic's YL-02 karaoke machine. It does have two wireless mics, which work via two AA batteries, which I've already put two in. It doesn't come with any, so keep that in mind, but each one requires two. I've already put mine in here. I'm going to close that up. However, you can connect more according to the guide. I personally haven't tried connecting anymore, but let me go and show you where you do that. You would connect it right over here. A mic, a guitar input right here, but I'll go over all the inputs a little bit later on. So you can add more. It's very simple to do if you have any of these types of karaoke mics. I've in the past been able to connect up to 6 or more mics to machines like these. So that is something to keep in mind. And of course, we want to talk about the power. It has a 5.25 inch 15 watt speaker, Bluetooth 5.0, which works at 33 feet. Also works via aux, TF, USB, FM, and PA, and it has a built-in disco light and LED ring. All right, so now let's take a 360 look. So the first thing I want to mention, handle is adjustable back and forth, because I have reviewed some where it just stays in place like this, so it takes up a little extra room that may not be necessary. Of course, on this side, we have nothing of significance on the back, just a warranty. On this side, and hopefully you guys can see this okay, I'll just raise the camera a bit. But again, mic, guitar, USB input, TF input, the charging point, which is USB-C, and an aux input. The charging is interesting. I guess these smaller karaoke machines use USB-C, which is great, because karaoke machines that use like very specific wires, I sometimes end up losing, or if they break, you have to buy new ones, and it can be kind of tough sometimes. So I'm glad it's just a simple USB-C. So let me readjust the camera again. Here we have the front, but let's actually talk about the top. We have the disco ball, the two metal things for the strap. The bottom has like silicone pads so it doesn't slip around. And now for the main functionality, which again, let me raise this a little bit. We have an echo knob, which works with the mic knob for volume, the on-off / volume for the speaker itself. And then these are just your standard buttons like, play, pause, go forward, go back. The different modes, such as FM, the USB modes, the Bluetooth mode, recording. We have LED to control the LED lights. And then this button, the O and A, is pretty, not complicated, but interesting. A lot of these speakers, what they'll do is they'll have a functionality where they will be able to take out the audio or the lyrics from a song if it's being played. Now, different speakers have different quality as far as how well they take it out and retain the original sound of the song, because, they're trying to make it to where any song can be turned into a karaoke version that way if you take out the person's voice from it. I will say, because I unfortunately can't play music in this video because, YouTube will probably block it, I will go and say that it does a decent job. It's not the best I've seen, but I've definitely seen a lot worse. It will cut out the audio actually very well. The thing is it can be a little too aggressive, and so it can make the music sound a little off. However, that can be a pro and con depending on what you're looking for, because it will cut out the vocals so aggressively that only you can be heard and the original artist can't, but that will distort the music just a little bit. But personally, I don't mind that. I think it sounds fine the way it is that way. And if it really bothers you, you can always just leave it on and raise the mic volume and lower the music volume some. So that way you're still heard over the original artist more so. So let's go ahead and turn it on.
Bluetooth mode.
So it goes straight into Bluetooth mode. I'm going to raise a little bit so you can see the disco ball. I'm going to turn off my...
Connection is successful.
So I turn off my light real quick just so you can see the disco lights above. I'm going to go and turn my ring light back on though. Actually, no, I can leave it off. That's fine. Because you don't really need to be able to see the buttons that clearly. The only thing I want to mention is their LED modes are a little bit lacking. It's nice that they have the disco ball and the ring light, but the only option you have is to turn it on or off. It doesn't have various lighting modes that you can switch between. It seems to just kind of cycle between different lighting modes on its own. Again, not the biggest deal, because usually when I use these types of speakers, I just put them behind my couch or something and don't really have it presented. So the lights don't actually matter that much to me. The disco light ball is actually the main thing that I care about, because that will project onto the roof and stuff. So that's a cool feature, but the ring light I don't really care about as much. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and turn on the mic first. And like I said, I already put in the batteries. You just push it up to turn it on. And I'm going to talk through the mic here so that way you can get an idea of the audio quality. All right, so this is a test through the microphone so you can hear what it sounds like coming out of the speaker. I have the audio set about 1/3 of its max. I'm not going to max it out because then it'll start making like this really weird hissing sound because of all the electronics I have around and how close I am. But this should give you a pretty good idea of how good the audio quality is. It's very clear, very crisp, and I personally really like how it sounds. This is one of the better sounding audio qualities for a mic through a karaoke machine that I've had so far. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up one of my YouTube videos, and we will just play a little segment of that so you can get an audio test of just the speaker with a video. What's up? This is GM, and before I... So I'm going to go ahead and go back, and so that way you can hear it from again. What's up? This is GM, and before I start, So a couple things that I want to note. I do have the knob maxed out here for the volume on the speaker. However, you have to check your device as well, because it'll usually have a separate audio control. So if you have it maxed out here, but it doesn't seem super loud, make sure you check your phone or your laptop or whatever, and make sure it's maxed out there or however high you want it on there, because most likely that is going to need to be adjusted. I will say, considering how big the speaker is, I mean, it's not a huge karaoke machine, but it's pretty big. I would say the max audio volume is pretty good. Again, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. Let's go back and max it out again. So that's with me maxing it out. It gets very loud. I will say though, that the jump from the max to the next lower level from my phone is a pretty big jump. So I think at that point you want to kind of mess around with the knobs if you want to get a little bit more fine-tuned with that. Just something to keep in mind. But overall, this whole machine gets very loud. The bass is pretty good, and the overall audio quality I would say is really nice, especially at this price point and considering how compact the machine itself is. I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't really have any other specific info that I feel like is necessary for you to know when trying to figure out if you want this speaker, but if there is anything else, again, you want to flip into the earlier part of the video where I go through the guide, as well as go on to the Amazon listing. Again, link for that description below. So that way you can get a little bit more info on the speaker. And if there's anything in particular, you can get that info. But if you look on both of those and this video and you didn't get some piece of info that you really needed, comment below and I'll try my best to answer it. All right, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.